From the grandest gestures of love to the quietest intimacies, our relationships are profoundly shaped by forces far beyond our immediate control, the law. Historically, these legal frameworks have held immense power, silently dictating not only who we can marry, but also how we perceive love, intimacy, and even our own bodies. Some rules have, at times, compelled individuals to conceal their true affections, or instilled a sense of shame about their innermost desires. Understanding these laws, both past and present, offers a unique window into the societal values and constraints that have defined human connection throughout American history. Looking back, the United States has always presented a fascinating paradox when it comes to marriage. Historically, compared to many other affluent nations, the U.S. boasted remarkably high marriage rates. It was a societal cornerstone, a celebrated norm. Yet, this trend has shifted dramatically. Since 1972, we've witnessed a significant decline, with current marriage rates now at their lowest point in recorded history. This profound transformation isn't just a statistical blip, it reflects deeper changes in how Americans view relationships, commitment, and the institution of marriage itself, creating a landscape ripe for examining the unique laws that govern it. The intimate connection between law and personal life is often underestimated. Laws about relationships and sex possess a profound, almost architectural, power. They don't just regulate, they define. They shape how people conceptualize love, what constitutes intimacy, and even their very understanding of their own bodies within a societal context. These rules, often rooted in historical norms or moral codes, can create boundaries that feel oppressive, forcing individuals into difficult choices, to hide their authentic selves, to conceal who they truly love, or to carry the weight of shame about their deepest desires and wants. The impact reverberates through generations. While many marriage laws appear straightforward, some states boast unique regulations that truly stand out. Washington, for instance, has gained a reputation for its variety of peculiar statutes. Beyond common traffic rules or animal-related ordinances, the evergreen state also holds distinctive regulations concerning alcohol and beverage consumption. More relevant to our topic, Washington's legal tapestry includes unique regulations pertaining specifically to marriage and other relational dynamics. These laws, often obscure, highlight the diverse and sometimes perplexing ways different jurisdictions in the U.S. have approached the complexities of human connection, underscoring the fragmented nature of American legal history. For centuries, the concept of monogamy, a committed, romantic, and/or sexual relationship with only one partner, has been the foundational bedrock of marriage in Western societies, and certainly within the legal framework of the United States. This deeply ingrained cultural and legal expectation often goes unquestioned, forming an unwritten rule that governs public perception and legal recognition. Any deviation from this standard has traditionally been met with skepticism, if not outright legal prohibition. It is against this backdrop of mandated monogamy that other forms of committed relationships, such as polyamory, highlight the inherent limitations and unspoken biases within the existing legal structures concerning love and partnership. In direct contrast to the traditional monogamous model, polyamory represents a practice or support for maintaining multiple committed, romantic, and/or sexual relationships simultaneously, with the full and informed consent of all involved partners. This approach, often referred to as ethical non-monogamy, or ENM, is built on principles of honesty, communication, and mutual respect among all individuals. While increasingly recognized and practiced by many, polyamory often finds itself in a challenging position within the established legal landscape of the United States. Its existence inherently questions the historical and legal exclusivity of traditional marital definitions, pushing the boundaries of what society, and the law, deems a valid partnership. The rise of ethical non-monogamy, particularly polyamory, illuminates significant legal gray areas within U.S. relationship law. Because existing marriage laws are almost exclusively designed for and predicated on a monogamous framework, relationships involving more than two consenting adults often lack any formal legal recognition or protection. This means partners in polyamorous relationships may face hurdles regarding shared property, medical decisions, inheritance, and even child custody, rights and privileges automatically granted to legally married monogamous couples. The absence of specific legal provisions for E&M highlights how deeply ingrained and, perhaps, strangely restrictive, the current legal definitions of marriage remain in American society, creating disparities that affect real lives. Among the most striking and, to many, unsettling strange marriage laws in U.S. history are those concerning consanguinity, or relationships between blood relatives. A prime example is the varying legality of marrying an aunt or uncle. While the idea might seem unthinkable or even archaic to some, the legal landscape across the United States is surprisingly inconsistent on this very topic. In many states, such a union is unequivocally illegal, reflecting deeply held societal taboos against incest. However, the unexpected twist lies in the fact that, in other states, peculiar legal loopholes can still exist, allowing for such unions under very specific, and often historical, circumstances. The existence of these loopholes in state marriage laws regarding aunts and uncles is a fascinating, if not perplexing, aspect of American legal history. What constitutes a loophole can differ greatly. It might involve specific definitions of blood relative versus half-blood, or archaic clauses that have simply never been repealed or updated. These aren't necessarily intentional allowances for incest but rather relics of older legal thought, or consequences of legislative oversight. The very presence of these exceptions highlights the complexity and sometimes arbitrary nature of laws that dictate our most intimate relationships, revealing how historical context can create surprisingly modern quandaries regarding what is legally permissible in love. The specifics of where marrying an aunt or uncle is legal, illegal, or subject to loopholes, creates a patchwork across the United States. Imagine a map, each state shaded differently based on its stance on these kinship marriages. This visual representation would clearly show that while most states adhere to strict prohibitions, others might have unique provisions. Some states might define aunt or uncle differently, or have varying degrees of consanguinity that are considered acceptable. This diverse legal landscape underscores the lack of a uniform federal marriage code and allows for stark differences in what is deemed a legal, familial union from one state border to the next, illustrating the surprising facts of relationship legality. The prohibition against marrying close relatives, particularly aunts and uncles, isn't a modern invention. Its roots run deep into ancient law scrolls and primitive societal customs. For millennia, humanity's unspoken motto could be interpreted as, "Do not marry your people, but avoid marriage with a stranger." This dual injunction reflects both a desire to maintain distinct tribal or familial identities, and a strong, often biologically informed, aversion to certain close-kin unions. These ancient laws, whether written on parchment or simply passed down through oral tradition, have profoundly influenced the legal and social fabric of nations, including the United States, shaping the very definition of family and acceptable relationships for generations to come. What makes these strange marriage laws, particularly those with deep historical roots, so compelling is their quiet, enduring power. They might not be debated in daily headlines, but their very existence on statute books means they hold real, tangible authority. These are not merely curiosities, they represent the solidified beliefs and norms of past generations, codified into law. Even if rarely invoked today, their presence can still define the boundaries of what is considered acceptable, legal, and even moral. Such laws remind us that the past is never truly past, it continues to exert influence over our present realities, subtly shaping our relationships and societal structures in unexpected ways. The impact of oppressive relationship laws throughout history cannot be overstated. When specific rules are enshrined in law, they carry the weight of societal sanction, often forcing individuals into painful dilemmas. These rules have historically compelled people to conceal their true affections, to live clandestine lives, or to suppress their genuine desires out of fear of legal repercussions or social ostracization. The consequence is often a deep sense of shame and isolation about what they want or who they love. The shadow of such laws can linger for generations, subtly influencing cultural attitudes long after the laws themselves might have been changed or challenged, leaving a lasting mark on mental health and personal freedom. Returning to Washington state, its unique regulations extend far beyond just marriage. The state's distinctiveness is evident across a spectrum of legal areas. From highly specific rules governing traffic and transportation to a fascinating array of animal-related ordinances, Washington has consciously or unconsciously cultivated a legal environment that sets it apart. These diverse and sometimes peculiar laws highlight a broader trend in American history: the autonomy of individual states to legislate within their borders, often leading to a rich, if occasionally bewildering, tapestry of regulations. It serves as a reminder that what is commonplace in one corner of the nation might be utterly foreign in another, especially when it comes to personal freedoms. Relationships are dynamic, fluid entities, constantly evolving with societal shifts, technological advancements, and changing individual values. The laws governing these relationships, however, often move at a much slower pace, creating a historical lag. While the institution of marriage, problem-solving within partnerships, and the very definition of love continue to transform, the legal frameworks designed to contain and define them struggle to keep up. This tension between an evolving human experience and static legal codes is a defining feature of relationship history in the U.S. Understanding this gap is crucial for comprehending why some laws now appear strange or outdated, and how they continue to influence our modern lives. At its core, the legal system has historically undertaken the complex task of defining what constitutes a valid relationship. This definition isn't merely academic, it confers rights, responsibilities, and societal recognition. From defining who can marry whom, to acknowledging different forms of partnerships, the law acts as a gatekeeper. This gatekeeping function becomes particularly evident when considering forms of relationship that fall outside traditional norms, such as polyamory, or when examining the historical quirks of incest laws. These examples expose the often narrow, and sometimes exclusionary, lens through which the law has viewed human connection, profoundly influencing individual choices and the societal fabric. In an era where U.S. marriage rates are at an all-time low, a growing number of individuals are re-evaluating traditional relationship structures and seeking recognition for diverse forms of love and commitment. This modern quest isn't just about personal preference, it's about justice and equality under the law. As more people embrace ethical non-monogamy, or navigate the complex tapestry of family relationships, the pressure builds on legal systems to adapt. The historical strangeness of past laws, and the current limitations of legal definitions, serve as a stark backdrop to this ongoing conversation, prompting a crucial question: how will American law evolve to truly represent the rich, multifaceted reality of human relationships? The future of relationship law in the United States hangs in a delicate balance between tradition and transformation. As concepts like polyamory gain more visibility and acceptance, there's an increasing debate about how legal frameworks might adapt to include ethical non-monogamy or other non-traditional forms of commitment. Will we see legal precedents that offer similar rights and protections to polyamorous partnerships as those granted to monogamous marriages? The historical journey of strange laws, from obscure Washington regulations to the nuances of kinship marriages, shows that legal definitions of love are never static. They are continually contested, reshaped, and redefined by both societal shifts and individual will, paving the way for a more inclusive, or perhaps equally complex, future. Ultimately, relationship laws, whether strange, historical, or modern, wield immense influence because they are intrinsically linked to personal identity. The freedom to choose who you love, how you love, and to have that love recognized and protected, is a fundamental aspect of selfhood. When laws are restrictive, they don't just regulate behavior, they can invalidate identities, force conformity, and diminish personal autonomy. Conversely, as laws evolve to be more inclusive, they empower individuals to live more authentically. Understanding this profound connection between the legal framework and personal identity is key to appreciating the enduring significance of all relationship laws, however peculiar they may seem on the surface. In conclusion, the strange marriage and relationship laws of U.S. history are far more than mere historical footnotes. They are powerful indicators of changing societal values, persistent cultural taboos, and the enduring authority of legal systems over our most personal choices. From the unique regulations found in Washington state, to the complex and often surprising legalities surrounding kinship, to the evolving discourse around ethical non-monogamy, these laws reveal a continuous tension between tradition and progress. As Americans navigate an ever-shifting landscape of love and partnership, the invisible hand of the law remains a constant, defining the boundaries and possibilities of human connection, reminding us that even the strangest statutes hold real power,